restoration of dances of the past. After weathering a recent organizational crisis, Joffrey is in the process of reevaluating, of raising money, and of forging ahead with scheduled appearances. The troupe's leadership foresees a future in which the company will be stronger than ever before. Gerald Arpino is the co-founder and artistic director of the Joffrey Ballet. He joins us now on Nightwatch, and it's a pleasure to have you.
Oh, it's a pleasure to be here.
You're in town. I know you had a performance at Wolf Trap, the outdoor park in suburban Virginia. Did it go well?
Oh, it was so exciting, you know, to be at Wolf Trap, to have Mrs. Schaus, you know, one of the great visionaries of our time.
Who founded and built up Wolf Trap.
It's one of the great outdoor theaters. And to be back, we hadn't been back since 1981. And we were the inaugural company at Wolf Trap.
Yes, I know you were. The first ballet company to appear there.
But to see all the families and to see everyone coming and attending the art that was known as ballet, you've got to realize that when I started ballet, I used to have to hide my ballet shoes. And I come from a very macho Italian family, and where ballet was never considered, you know, they thought I was a top scholar, and I have a PhD now, and prove my family that if one becomes an artist, that it is not, you don't go off the deep end, that the artist does have something to say and something to bring to his own people in his time and place. And that's what Bob Joffrey and I, that's why we built this company, because we were two young Americans with an impossible dream. And this is why we inspire. That's what makes the Joffrey Ballet so different from any of the other companies, because it was founded by two young boys, two young Americans, who said, we will build a company in our own country. And everyone said, you'll never do it. It's impossible. But we had that commitment, that imagination that Americans do have, and we fought hard. And 35 years ago, we founded this company.
Mm-hmm. And you rode, and maybe even gave birth to, but you certainly enjoyed, a tremendous rise in popularity of dance generally, and certainly an acceptance of ballet in the widest possible terms. There have been recent articles suggesting that the so-called dance boom has peaked, that it has crested, that Balanchine is gone, and it's on a downhill slope. Do you see it that way?
I think it's a time for change, and I think what's happening in the world, particularly in Europe now, is a more exciting time for dance. Not on a down, but on an up, in the sense that it's a time for challenge. It's a time for Americans, such as myself and the Joffrey. We must realize we went to Russia in 1974 and took the first live rock ballet to Russia. And I can remember Ambassador Stetson saying, now boys, talking to Bob Joffrey and myself, if you get 3 curtain calls, you know, you're in the home of the Communist Party members, and they will not applaud very much. And this was in Moscow. We received over 100 curtain calls, an hour ovation. We had to do an encore of Trinity. Now, this is the ballet Trinity. Outside the theater was like Times Square. People wanted to come in and hear the American voices, to see what America was like. And it ends with votive candles. And they said, well, why do you end on a spiritual level? You know, why does your ballet end on a spiritual note? And I said, well, all man can do is leave a light of himself on this earth. But this is what the Joffrey has done. It's invaded the world with its democratic ideals and the voice of American people.
We should probably give people a little example of the company, and we do have a couple of bits of tape. The first is Nijinsky's Rites of Spring. Give us a line or two to set the scene for this ballet, and then we'll have a look at it.
Well, Bob Joffrey, it took 7 years to reconstruct this, and it was Bob Joffrey's idea with Millicent Hudson and Kenneth Archer, and it took 7 years to research it. It had been a lost masterpiece. And this is what made Bob so fascinating as an American. He took this lost masterpiece and an American doing a whole Russian theme and said, I will revive the Nijinsky lost masterpiece. So he went to Rambert and so forth and took Stravinsky's notes, and the search started. And you'll see it's a ritual of a tribute to the saving of the earth, to the reverence of the earth. And so Bob and I decided this was the time to bring it back because acid rain and
as
the
topical a
earth,
theme as you could possibly have.
pollution.
Exactly. Let's have a look at it. We'll take a look here and see a little bit from the rites of spring. Sensational, huh?
Well, you know
So
what?
much energy.
But you know what's sensational? When you think we were two young fellows. We had a station wagon and a U-Haul truck. And there were only 6 of us. Then when I see the company, you know,
How large is it now?
It's now with 40 dancers. And we should be larger.
Can't fit in a station wagon anymore?
No, can't fit in a station wagon. Neither can our budget is no longer. I remember looking at we would travel the South, and we appeared in Frostburg, Maryland in the 50s, and I can remember I found my receipt for my hotel bill, which was $1.75 for a night. And we would drive around.
One of the best rooms, I'm sure.
But you know, it's exciting when you see the change of things, you know, and how we as a people, as Americans, are growing. I mean, what gets me about America is that we culturally put ourselves down. So we are a great people, a great creative. We're the most creative in the dance right now. We're taking over the whole world in creativity. But I want the ballet, like I do, as I say, I do my rock ballet, Trinity, and I've done a number of rock ballet. Bob's Ballet Astarte made the cover of, the only ballet ever made the cover of Time magazine and Life magazine. But we, as two Americans, know what our people are about. So I'm always trying to get my brothers who are football players and my associates, you know, I'm trying to always seduce them into the theater to see this great art and to show how athletic, how marvelous, how absolutely fascinating the art of this dance, and how, as two Americans, I have to keep saying two Americans because it's very important, because we didn't come from the Academy of Russia. We didn't come where Bausch.
Well, you came into a world that was dominated, after all, by Europeans at that stage. We're going to take a break, and we'll come back and talk a little bit about how you preserve that creative drive in an age of limits, in an age when the economy makes us all think twice and work hard. So stay with us. We'll be right back.